Hi all, welcome to another Chess 24 Banter Blitz. It's approaching 11:30 UK time. Okay, before we start the main challenges, let me just show you the discount screen. You can get a whopping 15% off if you use the voucher code Kingscrusher. You can get to play the likes of Magnus Carlsen, the amazing current world chess champion, and other grandmasters, IMs, and YouTubers like me and Chess Explained. So it's a lot of perks as well for premium membership in other ways, and the tournament coverage is absolutely brilliant, better than any other site, for example. So great perks there. So let's have a look at the challenges today and just check the preview screen. Let me know if audio and visual is okay. I hope it is. It looks okay on my screen there. So Kaz, a very dangerous opponent, underestimated in terms of rating. Very easy to underestimate, but let's have a go. C4. Okay, Queen's Gambit. Can I play solidly with Bishop F4? So this retreat, yeah, I'm inviting this H-file dynamic. I'm hoping, well, if it's taken, I think that's... Actually, is it interesting to play C5 here? Try and encourage this H-file dynamic. When I say the word dynamic, I mean kind of piece activity, pressure points, tactical abilities, that kind of dynamic play, as opposed to pawn structure, which I've kind of damaged in theory, but I mean it's a reasonable trade-off here. Okay, so Queen C2 is an immediate threat, maybe castle queenside. I guess E5 is incoming. I could put a lock and key on that with knight E5, but I end up losing a pawn, probably, after taking knight D7, hitting C5 and E5, so maybe I don't put a lock and key on that, I just castle for the moment. Maybe bishop F5, and if E4, then knight D2, just keeping my bishop aggressive for the moment. I think there's a slight downside of this commitment that I can bite the pawn chain with F3. Okay, maybe I want to double rooks on bishop H3. And possibly arrange some sort of attack, of course, with knight E2 to F4, if possible. Okay, for the moment, defending F2. Is it passive for me, this position? Can I play Queen E2? Alright, that's going to be dangerous as well. Okay, if I take and then or not, okay, that's going to be dangerous. I think I will take, try and kick this knight back. If actually knight C4 happens, then B3 is not possible, so maybe I should play B3 here. Although it doesn't look that impressive. Okay, there is Queen A3 if he wants an exchange of queens. There's that as well. Okay, this is looking dangerous. Can I... Okay, it looks pretty dangerous. Where is my king exposed? Knight E2? Is that possible? Well, I'm hoping at least for a blockade square with knight D4. I'm going to go defensive. Right, knight D2. If rook C2, rook D1. Do I get to kick this knight with knight D4 or not? Yeah, this... If I can kick the rook with knight D4, it's still some way off actually challenging the c-file. Unless I play, if I ever go back, okay, let's start with this though. I think that's safe. If I ever go back, there's knight g4. Do I actually need to rule out knight g4 before playing this to play that? I've got a 2-to-1 pawn majority here. So if I exchange off rooks, that should be okay. Is f3, is that stable enough? Just to stop knight g4, I want to play rook h1, rook c1. Get the rooks off. Okay, I could be winning a pawn here. Unless knight d3 is going to be like mating for rook c1. Well, that's probably dangerous, to say the least. Okay. What do I do here? Rook h1, maybe rook h1 anyway. So pointing into rook c1. Okay, can I loosen maybe g4? Can I loosen this grip on this position? Oh, hang on a sec. No, I don't know. Maybe knight e4. Maybe. Trying to win a pawn. I mean, there was a threat of knight f2 anyway. Okay, black's winning the exchange with knight f2 anyway after knight e4. Okay. I knew my position was difficult. I can double the pawns here at least. Alright, I don't mind being the exchange down if I'm controlling c2 and not being mated. With the structure as it is, I think this is okay. There's a few things to not be too bothered about. I think a4 b5 so it's one pawn for the exchange. a4 b5 king b3 rook d3. Do I make those steps? I can play rook d3 or knight b3 to c5. Maybe knight b3 to c5. So knight c5 coming up. Alright, rook here for a moment. But I think knight c5 coming up. That rook and pawn ending, if a counter exchange sack is played, it doesn't seem that brilliant. I wonder if I can make more progress with these pawns. So for example, knight d4 instead of inviting. Yeah, if I can just make more progress with the pawns, or do I invite that ending? I'm not entirely sure. What about is g4? That's too weak to king g5. What about the king going to a4? That's interesting for king a5. Or rook c2 here? Just going exchange down. a4 here. a4. Okay. Yeah, I have to hold b4. That wasn't a clever move. Okay, that wasn't a clever move. Let me try and solidify this. Is that any? What's my plan? What is my plan actually? Knight d4 check and b5. Is that some sort of plan? Okay, it's not really that brilliant in this position. Okay, I need some sort of plan. G4, E4, Knight D4, maybe Knight D4 here. The clock situation is pretty critical right now. Oh, I think it's critical on the clock. Yes, that was a really tough game. Really underrated, I think. Has really tough. Okay, Cat Weasel. Let's stick with the English opening. So let's see, d4, knight f3, and I'll play this, and then bishop b2, and then maybe try and exchange off these bishops. This kind of Bolshevik plan. Which I hope loosens dark squares. Although I should have left the knight on b1 to make this more optimal. Usually the knight's left on b1 for bishop a3. Yeah. Okay, can I play rook c1? Or is that losing the exchange to bishop f3 or something? I'll see if I can play this. Maybe I need to play e3, e3, and then maybe taking, and then okay, I managed to lose the exchange here to knight d2. That's clever. Okay, lost the exchange again. Oh dear, it's that sort of morning. I've just lost the exchange. That's good. Okay, I'm sure there's huge compensation here dynamically, which I'm going to have to drum up. If it doesn't exist, I'm going to have to drum it up. Okay, the bishop's not bad. Look at my trump cards and try and be optimistic with them. Basically, the bishop doesn't seem that bad at all. If he plays e4, I have a knight f4. Okay. There's also maybe d6 here. Is that move d6 or is it too dangerous? Or rook d1? Okay, I think actually this might be okay because of knight e2 to f4, then h4. The knights that looking good on f4. As far as I can tell, if a knight was on f4 and knight goes to f4, provoking d6. Do I want to play d6? I'm not sure I want to play d6. I'm going to regret that. I don't really know. Okay. All right. I'll play d6. I'm being tempted. I'll give in to that temptation. Maybe this diagonal is important. Bishop f1 to c4 later. That's possible. Queen b6, knight a4 for c5. It's possible that this d6 is handy. I'm just concerned about it being a liability. But c5, bishop f1 to c4 would seem. Am I getting into tactical trouble? Knight takes c5 coming up. Okay, if I played queen b3 here, so I'm on b7, c5 coming up. For rook c1. How would this work? Well, okay, that's check winning loads of pawns, isn't it? I don't think black wanted to do that. Two connected passed pawns. Don't think black wanted to do that. Okay, so c7. The rook d5, there's queen e1 check. c7 looks very good in many respects. c7. It stops rook b8 for a start. Can I just get this knight out of the way? Okay, knight e5, bishop e2 maybe. If this knight's going to f3, form pawn territory, that is dangerous, potentially. I can always hit the pawn later with queen d5 hitting f3. So knight e5, bishop e2, knight f3, take, take. I think that pawn's a liability. Okay, I don't mind queens coming up. I've got two big connected passed pawns. I don't mind even queen a8 coming up and d7. Basically, these two connected passed pawns are worth their weight in gold usually. In fact, queen a8 could be a nice finish if it's not disastrous. No, I think it is because the queen takes c7. Let's not be too flashy. Queen b5, queen b5, really wanting the queens off. Queen b5 would take some more space. It's difficult to see what black does about queen b5. I just want the queens off these two connected passed pawns. Yeah, I don't know where the queen goes necessarily. Doesn't look as though the queen's got too many squares. So is it possible? Okay, these actually will be significant. It seems. But yeah, I think a bad way of celebrating them was queen takes with d7, with queen takes c7, holding d8. That would have been not so clever, maybe. It's good to be aware, I think, of forcing moves, but yeah, didn't check out there, that forcing move. But this is kind of just two connected passed pawns. Just saying that's important here, if I can get the queens off. Okay, so now I think they're ready to roll. Alright, thanks for the game, Cat Weasel. Okay. Captain Can. Okay, Captain Can. Let's go into a King's engine. Or is it going to be a London system? Okay, it's going to be a London system. I'm going to play this move. Maybe with f5. Actually, it's not a London system, is it? Knight c3 makes it quite significantly different. Can I play exotically with f5 and knight f7? e4, yeah, hits the knight. Knight f7. Alright. So h6 gets ready for h5 to meet it with g5. e4, I'm not meeting e4 at the moment with anything in particular. Although, okay, is e6 worth it? Maybe. That does meet e4 potentially with taking in d5. d5 though, maybe that's d5 could be the odd one out here. Oh, d5 could be the odd one out. Am I weakening myself too much? Okay. I thought I could play this and d5 there. Is that not the case? I don't like doing active operations with the king in the centre, but this might be an exceptional scenario. I think I live to tell the tale. I'll just take that. Now I get to castle. Now I think I can take out d4. There is rook g6, but then knight takes f3. The queens might be coming off. Otherwise, queen d4, I'm on b2. So it looks rosy to play knight d4. Well, I mean, you know, it looks convincing enough. I mean, if it was a one-day game, of course, you know, maybe I could follow Lasker's expression, you know, look for a bet move if you find the strong move, look for a bet one. But because it's only a 5-minute game, knight takes d4 looks you know, if I get the queens off, it looks convincing. The knight actually holds against bishop h6 anyway. Oh, okay, I didn't see that one. There is queen d4 here. The knight's holding d4 there. That's an interesting move. Queen d4, I think, is okay here as a defense. Because the knight's holding d4. Okay, so queen d4. Okay, so what's happening here? If queen takes, I mean, there is queen takes b2 check, king d2. It looks like a strong attack, counter-attack. Yes, I bring this rook in, which wasn't doing anything. So my opponent's king seems to be in the center now. Okay, so okay, if I did take and then rook d8, I mean, it looks as though I should have strong enough attack here. Queen d4, king e2, queen d2, queen c1, king e2, rook e8. It looks all pretty strong. Queen d4, queen d2, queen c1, and rook e8 would win the queen, would it not? Covering the escape squares with the queen, making the checks more killer checks. Alright, okay, thanks for the game, Captain. Yeah, interesting. Jester. Okay, so I'll play the English opening. Okay, English opening again. Okay. Is Jester around? Do the countdown soon. 1 jest, 2 jests, 3 jests, 4 jests, 5 jests, 6 jests, 7 jests, 8 jests, 9 jests, 10 jests. I think better abort. Okay, another time. Satsumi, is it? Okay. Hi. Oh, sorry. Semi, sorry, not Satsumi. Okay. Satsumi is really quite good. Okay. Here we go. I hope. Let's play G6. This is my. This is like a pet line. I don't know. I just feel this is nice. That F5 is coming. That I didn't block my F pawn. That the default of the rook is being separated. The default position of the rook. It has become totally unstuck against certain GMs in fast time shows. I've noticed when they play quick C. I shouldn't really say. If I say in secret, top secret, they. So I just say what the antidote of this system is. Yeah. You'll have to find out in other episodes the antidote of this system. I have had some painful bashings, basically. It is not without its downsides, like everything in chess. It's not without its downsides, this opening. But it's good to be aware of them and sometimes still play something anyway, despite the downsides, yeah? Okay, but this is not a downside, is it? When I can play D4. Okay. Right. And knight D5 gives me quite an impressive position, I think. I can play even F4, locking down the queen a bit more. Although I suppose bishop D5 then knight F4 might be a concern. It might be worth doing that anyway. Yeah. Unless I could do a waiting move. Oh, all right. I'll risk it. I'll sack a pawn to get this bishop off the board. It actually opens up this bishop as well. Okay, maybe it's in the circumstances. It's okay. Bishop D5. Okay, he hasn't done it anyway. So, I'll take here. Now, maybe bishop E6. And queen D6 coming up. Or knight B4. I can take this guy off. And knight takes D4 looks plausible. There is a check diagonal to be aware of. I think any pin is C5 after. I think I will grab that. Because I think I have C5 coming up, potentially. So say knight D4, bishop D4, rook D1, C5. Because I don't like going into self pins, generally. That is often the source of embarrassment, self pins. Okay. C4 or knight F3, just double the pawns. Knight F3, check. And then queen G5 is check. What's wrong with checks? Queen H4 is a forcing move of some sort. It's got a big threat to it. Okay, there's no queen F2. That would be a disaster. There's a rook F2. So, for the moment, I think going for bishop D4, just to lock down D file. I'll protect that then. So bishop d4 and well, okay, that's a nice centralizing move. Bishop d4. It does threaten actually bishop f2 as a side effect. Useful one. Yeah, I just thought about centralizing them, like the rook, the bishop, to sort of block the rooks, but it's actually bishop f2, isn't it? Unless there's queen c2 check. No, there's queen c2 check for queen takes f2. Maybe that wasn't a threat. Okay, but I'll play bishop d4 here anyway. So there's always this queen d3 and the sneaky checks. Maybe my king's in the wrong place. If I play bishop f5 here, just to safeguard that diagonal. I might be actually threatening to take and then queen f2 to get the queens off. Unless there's something else going on there. I think I will do that to get the queens off. Alright, thanks for the game. Okay. Talk Medita. I'll play English opening day. Okay, so one bull fight. Is that a bull? That is, isn't it? That's in Spain, isn't it? I've been to Spain. Yes, I have actually been to Spain. I got back some souvenirs from Spain once, yeah. Okay, so, yeah. 1 bullfight, 2 bullfights, 3 bullfights, 4 bullfights, 5 bullfights, 6 bullfights, 7 bullfights, 8 bullfights, 9 bullfights. Oh, hang on. We got a game. Let's play this e4 for a moment. This has a certain comfort zone to it. I'm going to play F5. I know I'm really original today. F5, knight G3, that sort of thing. Unless I can do better. Knight H5. F6 looks dangerous here. Bishop F6. Maybe it's not that effectual. Okay, you can probably get the queens off. Have I misplayed this? Or can I do something sneaky, like F6 around here? Bishop D5, FG7. I think I'll try and do something sneaky here with F6 now. I was thinking Bishop C1, F6. That might need to be computer checked. Just not recapturing, just play F6 on Bishop takes C1. That would be interesting to check out, theoretically. G6, let's have a quick look for a laugh at Bishop G5. G takes, 96, okay, there's no time really to check that out, okay. Well, Bishop takes here looks dangerous for FG7. So FG7, King G7. No, actually, I've just had another thought. That's a form pawn, isn't it? Queen takes G5, there's Knight G6. But it does win a pawn, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Looks like it. Knight g6, then cd. That looks good. Use this pawn on f6. Knight g6, cd. Or, in fact, ed gives bishop e4, get that parking space. Bishop e4, kind of strength for the last move, to give a parking space to myself. Do myself a favour with ed. No, I think rook f2, rook g. Okay, that's just mate. Okay, thanks for the game, Talk Medita. Okay, very dangerous opponent, Don. And he's got some good systems. What do I do against Don? I'll try and confuse him. Knight c3 in the opening. This could be a reverse tango, which I'm kind of used to playing the tango, but playing it in reverse is naughty, isn't it? Note how I'm using my openings with white and black. Two for the price of one. So this is a reverse tango at the moment. So I'm looking forward to some light square play. All these pawns on dark squares. Give in on the light squares, in effect, at the moment. Oh, that's the slight downside of this, the light squares. So, yeah. No way. No way. No way. Okay, maybe wait. Maybe b5. Oh, okay, I shouldn't say b5. Yeah, is a tactic. I shouldn't say. Okay, a little fly in the ointment. B5. Yeah, if I take queen a4, a little fly in the ointment. But other than that, I'm looking forward to here because I'm excited by the knights not being on f6, because it means queen h5. It's one of those times a crude move is actually kind of effective. I'm actually hitting f7 and h7 here. I've had a similar disastrous game with black against Yardbird on another site once. Eric Lobron. Yeah, he just played this kind of quiet thing, weakened my light squares, and then it's like a total disaster. Just in time, he's about to win my bishop with a4, but before that happens, this looks rather good. Oh yeah, it was a light square disaster. You watch out for the reverse tangos. Thanks. Okay, Ralph Quast. Okay. So one knight c3. People don't prepare for one knight c3. I think it's outside of most people's opening preparation. There's all sorts of other things to prepare against. d4, c4, e4, f4, g3. Yeah, bird's opening. So yeah, one knight c3 could be a practical blitz weapon. I like the idea of playing for e5 here. It looks a little bit squishy to play e5 unless f5 is any better. Can I squish with d5? It looks a little bit squishy. Okay, are my pawns weak? Are they? It's possible. Bishop e3. Would I have enough compensation if I lose a pawn there? It looks like e6 is with benefits now for bishop a8 potentially. I like the idea of e6 here after b6 was being played. Yeah, I can just take this guy, go back. So knight d5 or bishop d5, maybe bishop d5. Just get rid of, or not. I'm thinking bishop c3 or knight c3. I was just thinking for a moment, was there a tactic with bishop c3? Okay, I can do this to just get some pieces off. Actually, I'll go back. Just get this guy off, or bishop c5. Okay, I'm getting things off. I hope with positive effect. Sometimes it's not. Have I given my opponent something? A pawn towards the centre. I know I've given my opponent a pawn towards the centre. I can get the queens off with queen d5, it seems. And knight, okay, trying to simplify here. Maybe the knight should go to g1. It looks as though it's struggling in this pawn chain. I've got a route for knight f3 now. That knight's happier, I think. So knight g5. Right, so there's problems here with knight b2. I don't want to lose all my pawns necessarily. Can I play to start off with knight e6? Okay, I'll win this pawn over here. g4 looks good. Right, thanks for the game, Ralph. Okay. Super Bohemio. English opening day. Super Bohemio. Generally, if you're upper material, simplifying, and if you're down the material, complicating to try and swindle, as a general rule. But sometimes there are examples. I've seen examples of where an over enthusiasm to simplify from a potentially losing position gives the opponent too much counterplay. I've seen some example games like John Spillman in the past where people have tried to simplify against him and it's really backfired. So you've got to be careful when you simplify, I think. As in the general, chess is hard and painful experience sometimes. Okay, so EF, knight E4, try and neutralize this bishop. Actually, knight G3 is almost happening. So I want this bishop off my F2 pawn. That's a nice blockade square. King H2, F4. Try and undermine central square control with King H2 and F4. That might give him the possibility of G4 and F5 as well. So G4, F5 coming up. I believe, I hope this is plausible. If I took on D4 here, knight G2, knight E6, Right, do I have time to do this? Because I don't want the pressure on f4. Well, don't tell me there's some tactic. Alright, so bishop h1. I wanted to be able to play bishop h1. Can I still do that? I hope I can still do that. I don't want to lose my bishop and have that bishop carve its way through that diagonal. Okay, I can still remain with that solid knight on e4. Queen e1 may be worth it. Queen g3. g5 gives knight f5. f5 gives the g5 square. So bishop h4 coming up there. Queen g2. f5 here with tempo though. I weaken the dark squares. Maybe that's okay. f5 there. Knight e5, queen g3. Okay. Bishop d6, bishop f4. Bishop h4 here. Okay. Could I just take that and get the queens off? Knight d6, queen g3. Knight e5, bishop f4. Queen g3, king g3, bishop h1, rook h1. Knight e5, bishop f4. Hang on, there's knight d3, bishop c7. Oh, this is going to be a pain, isn't it? Knight e5. Oh, he hasn't done that. Okay, bishop g5 with tempo. Bishop h1, bishop e7, rook e8, f6. Rook e8. Okay, so bishop e7, rook e8, f6. Having a look at that instead of rook h1. I think that looks tempting because there's an idea of f7, rook e7, f8, queening. That's a big threat. If rook f7 are in their hands, f6, the bishop goes back. Fg, rook g7, bishop f6. King g7 though. Okay, anyway. Right. I'll try that. So f6 here, or b3. I think b3 actually, just for the moment. Or a3, just get these pawns off the light squares. Is it? I've got 3 to 2 here. f6. Just maybe for g5 for a moment. He's got pawns on dark squares, so my bishop can potentially attack those. Rook e5 here, there's probably rook e7. No, there isn't. Takes queening. Rook e5 is plausible. In fact, if I just took here, king f4 is rook e7. Rook e1 though. Would that be terrible? There's rook f6. No, there's bishop f6 is check. If I really wanted to do that, what would be the point? It would be rook e5 to try and win an exchange. Win a pawn for the exchange. Let's do it. So there's no rook f6 because the bishop f6. Do I get a chance for rook e5? The king's also restricted compared to my king. Do I get a chance for rook e5 or not? If I can get 1 pawn or 2 pawns to the exchange, obviously, even better, 2 pawns to the exchange. Is it worth even playing b4? I don't know. I think I want my king to go to e6. And then rook d8 would be strong. If the rook's on h7, rook d8 is stronger. So king, okay, stop that. I can drag this pawn down. Oh, there's rook takes e7 now on the cards. Can I safeguard with rook e8 for a moment and drag this pawn down? Oh, there's rook f6 check. Okay, I think I've got to get out of this stuff. Unless rook d7. Okay, I'm going to run out of time here. Rook f6, rook f6, rook e7, rook e7. Is this really the case? Okay, do I get to play d4, d5, d6 or not? King e5 to e6. Oh, it's queening. No, I think I messed up. Hang on, why has he done that? He could have just queened quicker than me. He's letting me get my pawns to play check, discover check. Oh, that was... No, I think black was winning now. So quick. I think he just queens. I think I've underestimated the pawn. And it says white's winning for a moment. Definitely black's winning now. I should have done something about this pawn. In fact, this pawn didn't even need to be created. Yeah, it did need to be created. Okay. I didn't want to give g6. It did seem lucrative to play g5. But I think maybe it's more important than any of that is just to get this d pawn going. So if he makes a run for it like that, d7, d8. Isn't this pawn queening? No, black's winning that. Oh, right, rook c... Do I have to resort to rook c3? And this... Yeah, the h pawn was really quite dangerous. Well played. The mechanic. Okay. If I take d5 pin. I hope I've got h6 to e5 or queen e7, one of those two. Both of those two. Or maybe even d4. I don't know, d4 to e5. Is that too exotic? Okay, queen e7 seems plausible here. Right. If I played... not too many options, but if I played Queen f6, do I actually... Is that better? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I'll try this. Oh, no. I've just blundered a piece. Okay, great. Oh, ouch. That was a weakness of the last move. Yeah, I blundered a piece for nothing. Try and generate some play somehow. Can I castle queenside? It's only a 5-minute game. If I castle the queen side, do I get something? Okay. Try and get some compensation going. If I were trying to be optimistic, castle queenside looks... Right. If I played bishop b7 here, queen a7, queen b2, bishop e2, h5 with some sort of attack. In my dreams. In my dreams, yeah, okay. But no, okay, maybe. Of course, yeah, some sort of attack. I was looking at knight f5 to e7. At least the knight doesn't go to a key square that easily. I would have thought that gives me a little bit of something. g6 and f5. Right. Oh. F4 here. For rook h8. Actually, doesn't that give me rook h2 now? Or queen h6 for g5? I think I've got some play now. I thought it was a bit dangerous. Looks as though there's a little bit of play. I don't know. Bishop G4, King B8. Okay, it is possible. I'm not getting that much play. It's possible. I'll try and open up the lines though. Okay, so Queen F6 maybe gives us an idea of Queen D4 sometimes. Queen D4 or Rook D8. Okay. Can I kick that queen? Maybe Rook B5 for Rook B2. No. Queen E7 for Queen C5. That's not exactly what I wanted. Queen G5. Nope. Queen H8. Queen E7 is Knight G6. Okay, so is he actually winning material? He's not winning further material, is he? Queen D6. Queen D6. Queen D6. All right, that's a concession, isn't it? Why can't I just take that? That's a concession. I think he's cracked or something. Panicked. What is this? What is this? Why have I got this position? Why have I got this position? I shouldn't have this position. Oh, it's still dangerous. It's still dangerous. Oh boy. After all that, it's still dangerous. Okay. Don't know what to do about that. Any ideas? Any ideas? No, yeah, I planted a piece. Oh, okay, yeah. It's hard in a blitz game. It's hard in a blitz game sometimes to control everything, absolutely everything. Okay. Okay. Area 51. It's a 3-minute game, huh? Well, I think I've weakened some squares in this position. I hope that these square weaknesses count for something. I don't mind this kicking the knight around. Sometimes get the f5 square. Let's go back here. Potentially that's quite dangerous. Right. I better take that pawn off. Queen g4, bishop d7. Knight e6 is interesting. Right. Looks as though I've just lost the exchange. That's unfortunate, or a rook. That's pretty unfortunate. And this is queen a4 for e4. Queen a4 for queen e4. There's bishop d4 here. This is anything better. Knight d7. Do I play bishop d4, I wonder? Okay, who's on my queen? Let's say another pawn. Or queen c4, maybe queen c4 is more sensible. This looks horrible. Yes, this looks pretty horrible. Looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, I think I'll resign. Well played. I think I'm going to resign soon. Yeah, or get checkmated. Well played. Yeah. Oh, okay. I underestimated something there. Clearly. Robin. Okay, so knight c6 and bishop d3. So knight c3 and bishop g5. Or bishop g5 first. Maybe bishop g5 first. Oh, and that's knight c3, king h1, f4. Is that a plan? King h1, f4. ED, was e5 any good? Maybe ED. Is bishop f6 any good for knight e5? In fact, there's knight d5, queen d5, bishop f6 for bishop h7. That's interesting. So bishop f6 for bishop h7. Okay, is there g5? There's knight f6. So queen d5, bishop takes f6, g takes bishop h7. This is a move here for black. It's quite likely I didn't see. What does black do here? Okay, so black does something else. Queen somewhere. Queen. Okay. Oh. Okay. Thankfully, there looks to be queen g4 here. Not that I saw bishop that, but there's queen g4 here. Okay. Not what I intended at all, but okay. Queen g4. Queen g2 is possible to win the bishop there after. Opposite coloured bishops. Queen g2, bishop g2, king g2, g takes, king f3, opposite coloured bishops. Structurally, what's going on there? Alright, can I just retract this? Retract this bishop for a moment. So queen g3 and then f4. Is that possible? Queen g3 and f4. Queen g3, there's bishop d6, but f4 just to shield the queen, just to keep the queen on g2. Why would I want to play queen g3 though? Why do I need to play queen g3? What about just playing f4? Is that terrible? f4, I don't know if there's some sort of... Okay, f4 seems reasonable. Rook f3, rook g3 actually. Why use the parking space g3? f4, rook f3, rook g3. That builds up on g7. f4, rook f3. I think that's my intention here. f4 for rook. I can't see anything else. Okay, there's no rook g6 yet. Isn't bishop c4 winning an exchange? Bishop c4. Rook g6, bishop d5, rook g4, bishop e7. Am I not just winning an exchange? This is some major tactic I'm missing here. just checking again. Okay, queen. Okay, I don't know. It looks to be strong. Bishop c4. Okay, so what's happening here? Right, so I just take the queen there. Right, thanks for the game, Robin. Okay. Nicholas. 78. Should I pre-move knight c6? Okay, so I hope Nicholas is around. One elephant. I was going to say Nicholas, but I don't know. No, one elephant, two elephants, three elephants, four elephants, five elephants, six elephants, seven elephants, eight elephants, nine elephants, 10 elephants. I think I have to abort. Okay, let's carry on swiftly to the next challenge. Friedel. Will I be fried by Friedel? The ongoing saga continues. I have the white pieces today. No London system. Although I could, for a laugh, I suppose I could have played the London system with white. Okay, I've just realised he's quite good against this. I think I'm remembering something bad happened in the past. Oh, okay. Anyway. And what if I play h4? Is that h5? The symmetry, winding up by symmetry, is that just take all my plans, just use them for symmetrical purposes. Okay. H5, is that totally terrible? F4, is that totally terrible? I'm not entirely sure. Queen d2. The good thing is about Queen d2, there's no knight b3 winning the exchange. H5 doesn't look convincing. However, I will play it. G5, F4. This does not look convincing. If I castle here, right. FG, is he giving me something he didn't want to give me there? I just give him the E5 square on a plate. Yeah. I don't know. You know, actually, the technical move knight b5 might have something going for it here. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. This knight on d4 is a total pain. Oh, well. Comforty move f5 to me. It looks visually quite comforting to play that. I'm surprised by that move. That looks to me, my intuition's lit up there. Okay, go back to d5, juicy d5, d5 juicy. Okay. I think here, get rid of this pesky knight once and for all. So I leave my own entrenched knight on d5 here. And I don't know if b3 is plausible. I don't know how silly knight f4 is. Gf, bishop f6, queen g4, king moves. If the h file, g file was good, so I'm going to make way on the g file, king f2, for this wonderful concept of knight f4. Actually, do I prepare that explicitly with rook g1 for knight f4? I mean, not that knight f4 does anything anyway. It doesn't do anything. Okay. Does it? Yeah. If bishop f3, it's sort of getting that way as if it might do something with rook g1 in the future. I'm being rather silly. No, that's blocking the queen anyway from g4. What would I want to do with knight f4? Okay, this is sort of interesting for g4. If I get the e4 square. Would I get the e4 square? Okay, I don't mind an exchange of rooks. Do I? I don't mind the e4 square, I hope. Not that my knight's going to get to e4. He could just chop it off. Here, he could chop it off. I could welcome him to chop it off. At least the king supports playing this move. Okay, he's giving me a nice juicy knight again on e4. This looks as though an exchange sack would have been good with rook b5 if I ever get that chance again. Oh no, it's passive. Don't like this. I could have just taken the pawn there as well. Crikey, I need to support. There's rook b3 as well. Okay, this is not doing anything. Oh, there's bishop f4 as well. Okay, oh crikey. Why has he done that? Why has he done that? Isn't there rook b2? My pawns are all on light squares here, away from the bishop. Why would he do this? Maybe that ending's fine for him. Unless there's some zugzwang. What about just knight b3 here? Pawns are all away from the bishop. Magnus Carlsen does that quite a lot in endgames. Puts all his pawns away from the bishop. This a5 pawn is a liability. Is it not? Knight e7 to g8. Fork the f and h pawns here. This knight's running rampant. No sign of a passed pawn for black. Yes, thanks. Yeah, I think the knight's running rampant. Okay, but fortunate there. He had all the pressure. I think he could have taken on a3, I suspect. Mansura's got default rating. I'd rather play someone who's actually played on the site before. Sorry about this. I don't know about this. Sorry about that. I'm going to play someone who's actually played on the site before. Okay, please don't just play me just as your first game. I'd rather not. Thanks very much. Because there's for a start, there's no provisional rating calculations, so I think it's just slightly unfair at the moment. Knight g5. Okay, for knight ge4. Knight f5 for queen h5. So bishop h6 coming up. Looks very dangerous. Queen h6, queen f6, knight f5, queen h8 is possible. Maybe knight f5 to kick off though. Then if queen f6 happens, then think about what to do after that. Oh, there's queen h4 though. There's queen h4 anyway. No, that stops queen h4 anyway. Okay, knight f5, it stops queen h4. The bishop sack, although tempting, I don't think it's going to happen. h4 for bishop g5 potentially. g4 for g5 potentially. Maybe g3 for h4. g3 just to make sure knight f4 isn't happening. Right, h4 here. Okay, so bishop e3 and then g4 after. Rook e5 g4. I have bishop d4 potentially. In fact, rook e5 bishop d4. There's queen f5 hitting my queen. No time for bishop e5. He's hitting my queen there. So rook e5 g4 instead of bishop d4. Or bishop d4 here for f6. Bishop d4 seems tempting in some way. Okay, he's going to play g6. Okay, I'll play bishop d4. f6 here is or b4, maybe f6 and then there's g6. Okay, what about b4 then? b4. Okay, b4 to stop c5. If I want that bishop to remain, b4. b6, b5. Okay, what's this? What's this? Is on g3. I see. Okay, and there's a tactic rook e3, queen g3. I don't want perpetual checks and stuff. Okay. King h2 or queen f3. Maybe queen f3 looks cozier. Queen f3 looks cozier. Okay. King g2, just away from the bishop, just prophylaxis. King g2. Looks a little bit safer than on the diagonal, potentially. Okay. I think playing for f6 seems reasonable. Can I get... Okay, this queenside stuff, a5, installs some sort of advantage on the queen side, potentially. Exchange a pair of rooks. Get the king towards the center. Try and get the e file. Right, I think one plan would be eventually bishop c5 and then king to b6. If I can get that king walk going. So exchange off the rooks. Go to c4. I'm going to lose g4. I'm going to lose g3 here. Technicality. Is G4 possible? About bishop c5, is that terrible? I'm going to lose my pawns. Okay, g4, going back to g4. Let's go back to g4, get these pawns away from the bishop. Another form of prophylaxis, getting the pawns away from that bishop. Let's try and not lose this h-pawn in a hurry, I hope. Rook f3 to e3, to e3. Alright, he's going to win the pawn. H5 coming up. If G5, H5. It's not letting me alone there. Yes, checkmate. Yes, a bit lucky there. Yes, gotta watch out tactically. There's a book by Nunn, Tactical Chess Endings. Tactics are still in endgames. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, that was a bit of luck there. I was worse there, obviously. Okay. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Yeah. Thanks for the games. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good rest of the Sunday, and see you next week. Thanks so much.